Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is the From the Bench podcast. I'm Mark Janish. It is Saturday, February 3rd, 2018. This is the From the Bench podcast. You can catch the From the Bench podcast at accessmediaglobal.com, Libsyn, or Stitcher. One of the things I wanted to discuss today, just a programming note, the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos will be playing the Cal State University Northridge team in Santa Barbara. I'll have the audio for you. The game time is 7 p.m. Pacific time. 6:45 will be the pregame. I'll have the audio link for you on accessmediaglobal.com. I wanted to give you my thoughts on the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not enthused about this Super Bowl. I believe it's the East Coast Super Bowl. I mean, of course, if you're an Eagle fan or you're a Patriot fan, you're excited, but in this case, the line has moved from 6.5 points down to about 4.5. The over-under is 48. I'm going to go ahead and would take the under. I believe the Philadelphia defense will cause Tom Brady some problems. We'll see what the front four has to say regarding that for Philadelphia against Tom Brady. Game time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time over the network of NBC. In the United States. Check your local listings for date and time in your area. One of the things that I did respond to this week on the accessmediaglobal.com website, my thoughts on the Blake Griffin trade. I'm not sure I'm real excited about the fact they gave him a 5-year, $171 million contract and then decided to trade him just a few months later. But I think that's more due to Jerry West, and read what I wrote on that rebuilding process. I also wrote a column on what could be done to acknowledge the PED era in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. I would go ahead and probably put a plaque up. I wouldn't necessarily deny any of those guys a place in the hall, but I definitely would probably put an asterisk near that. 3 p.m. Pacific time today, USC at UCLA men's basketball. I'll be taking a view of that. Currently, right now, the Clippers are playing the Chicago Bulls 57-52 in the early in the third quarter at Staples Center in an afternoon game. The Chicago Bulls and the new look Los Angeles Clippers. At this particular time, just to remind you, the Olympics from Pyeongchang, South Korea will be commencing February 8th to February 25th, 2018. My coverage for this year, as far as I know, all the events will be live in every time zone. So as soon as we get an adjustment between Pacific time and South Korean time, we'll be able to let you know what the coverage is. But I would have you go to the international page, go to the international RSS feed. But at the top of the international headline list is the South Korea Times, and that would be a good place to start for you looking at the coverage. I'll probably have some videos and some stories and some columns on who is doing well for the United States in spring sports. Spring sports. It's actually winter sports here on February the 3rd, 2018. So apologize for that, but wanted to just stop by, let you know that it's been a busy week for me. Haven't been able to podcast as much as I would like. Like I said, didn't have an opportunity to look at the Super Bowl as in-depth as I would have liked, but right behind the Olympics will be baseball spring training. You're welcome to go to my Major League Baseball page and my Minor League Baseball page. I will tell you my desire for programming on the minor league side of it. We're going to have the Oklahoma City Dodgers, the San Diego Padres, El Paso Chihuahuas, the Tacoma Rainiers, and the Salt Lake Bees, the AAA team of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So what you're going to be able to look for coming up in the spring days, you're going to be able to get some AAA minor league baseball audio. We'll be posting those links as I would for any UC Santa Barbara basketball game or what have you. But we're going to go ahead and do that. Also, Richard Deutsch, he has a podcast through SI that's a media podcast looking at the media. He has some strong content that's been added, and that's available at accessmediaglobal.com. So right now, I'll just say happy Super Bowl Sunday. Get your barbecue ready, get your snacks ready, and enjoy 3 hours of the NFL. Now, the NFL ratings have dropped between 12 and 15% year over year. Now, that generally does happen analytically during election years, but with the recent controversies that we've all been privy to, there are many people out there who are not watching the NFL at this particular point in time, and that's fine. But we're hoping for a superb Super Bowl. I probably am suffering from Tom Brady fatigue. This is his 8th Super Bowl. He's 5-2 in those games, and of course, last year, 28-3 deficit. Of course, the Patriots came back and beat the Atlanta Falcons in overtime in Super Bowl 51. This year, the Super Bowl's in Minneapolis, Minnesota, very cold Minneapolis, Minnesota. A couple days ago, temperature reached -2 degrees. And here in the Southern California area, we have successfully and are starting to rebuild from the Montecito, California floods and the Thomas fire. The 101 freeway is now open, so everybody's a little bit more amiable and happier. We're not stuck in one place necessarily, so we're having a good time. But the temperatures are abnormally warm here. It's about 75 degrees on a sunny Saturday afternoon, February 3rd, 2018. And that should about wrap up this podcast. You can catch this and any other episode of the podcast at accessmediaglobal.com on Libsyn and Stitcher Radio. Have a great afternoon, everyone. We'll be back Monday, possibly Tuesday, with analysis of the Super Bowl. And we'll be looking forward to some Major League Baseball and some spring sports, some UCSB baseball perhaps. We might be able to check out some of those things and enjoy the programming. Going to have the UCSB Gauchos, Cal State University Northridge game tonight. Audio will be up on accessmediaglobal.com. Once again, the game time, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 6:45 will be the pregame over UCSBGauchos.com. I'll have the link for you and game story on that. The UC Santa Barbara Gauchos, 17-5 on the year, 6-2 in the Big West, one of the bigger turnarounds in the mid-major D1 area. Last year they were 6-22, 17-5 this year, and well on their way to representing in the Big West Conference. The Big West Conference is a little muddled right now. There's been 3 teams who have ascended to the first place spot. The Gauchos are in first place at this particular point in time. Max Heidegger, the sophomore sharpshooter from Malibu, California, out of Oaks Christian High School. And, of course, Leland King III, graduate transfer out of Nevada. And another graduate transfer, Marcus Jackson, graduate transfer from Rice University, doing a lot of damage for UC Santa Barbara, along with seniors Gabe Vincent and 6'8" stretch forward, Jalen Canty. He had 21 points and 10 rebounds. 3 Gauchos scored 20 points their last game against a game UC Riverside team, 76-69. You can read the story there. And like I said, I'll have the audio up for you. But you have a great afternoon. Thanks for listening. Once again, this is accessmediaglobal.com. I'm your host, Mark Janish. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you next week.